Okay. Setting a purple motivation. Which consists of three parts: refuge field, Bodhicitta field, and the purpose of this practice. Refuge field, again 2 points: what to visualize and how to visualize. Visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Are Maitreya, Are Bhagavatishvara, Are Manjushri, Are Vajrapani, Are Tara, Are Kishidagarbha, Are Samadhavadra, Are Nagarjuna, Are Deva, Acharya Chandrakriti, Bodhisattva Shandideva, Bodhisattva Chandrakshita, Acharya Kamalashil, Lama Silingpa, Adhishita Pangari Shri Jnana, and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas that you can imagine in front of you. And how you visualize them, they are like your very affectionate parents. And imagine you come home demoralized, being bullied by elder children in the school, and your parents are waiting there with the full love, affection, attention, so forth. Bodhicitta field, visualize your two parents on two sides, and all the demon sentient beings, including the children and everyone in the universe around you. And here you're the mother and all of the beloved children, and imagine they come home demoralized, and you are there with your full of affection, attention, so forth. And the purpose of this practice is to activate the Buddha energy within us. For that matter, we need to know how to remove the mental defilements. And the mental defilements are of two kinds, gross and subtle. The gross one, referred to as the afflictive obscurations, the presence which stops us from achieving freedom from samsara. And the subtle one, the presence known as the cognitive obscurations, the presence of which stops us from achieving Buddhahood. And gross one is of three kinds: contaminant karmas, afflictions, and active seeds. And all these three revolve around the self-grasping ignorance. And to counteract the afflictive obscuration from the root, we need to counteract the self-grasping ignorance. For that matter, we need to introduce a counter force, which is the wisdom of emptiness. Wisdom of emptiness, driven by pronunciation, becomes the measure, becomes the antidote to counteract the samsara. And on the other hand, we have the cognitive obscurations, for which the remedy is the same, antidote is the same, the wisdom of emptiness, but the driving force should be much more powerful than renunciation. It should be bodhicitta, and yet grounded in renunciation. So, imagining that you are leading this, and all sentient beings are joining us, and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are watching us. Page 3. And due to a great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to develop perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And due to a great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to develop perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And due to a great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to develop perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Sanje joda zoge chonam la chanjo bardo dane kyapso che dage jinso kebe sonam ge rola benjir sanje tubare sho sanje joda zoge chonam chanjo bardo dane kyapso che dage jinso kebe sonam ge rola benjir sanje tubare sho sanje joda zoge Sanjo Bado Dane Gyabzo Chi Bagi Jinso Kibe Tsomangi Dola I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the Supreme Monk, to all teachers, the one who taught us peace, which is freed of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattas and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all these here seeking best reach to complete peace, who through the knowledge of past courses so separating migrate to achieve the aims of the world, and who through the possession of nations helps subdue us expound a variety of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata and protector to your many frustrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, eternal chance for the forever noble life race, to you the Buddha I make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I gem the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum deshan tathagato yavatat deshan chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaya svaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum deshan tathagato yavatat deshan chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaya svaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum deshan tathagato yavatat deshan chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaya svaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of causes as well as taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear light and non-composite. Such is the nectar like dharma I have discovered. Finding no one who can fathom this teaching, in silence I will return with words. Beyond utterance, thought and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. Is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the 3 times of the obeisance. All composite things are impermanent, all contaminated things are of the nature of suffering, all phenomena are of the nature of emptiness and selflessness, transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, and likewise the Guru is the Sangha, the Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings unto the end of the expanse of billions of aeons. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of the suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. If attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Okay, page 14, praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the four-destroyer, completely perfected, full awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme God of human beings to be tamed. teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the complete and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakti clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When all supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you had paced our 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who revise them and prostrate, with pure bodies formed supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you are prostrate. With a supreme science face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you are prostrate. Thus we like you, the 3 worlds are not, incompatible wise one, to you are prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from lower realms, one part, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path of liberation, feel qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Son I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly, this is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream of natural lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through this merits, may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the 4 forms, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Heart Sutra, page 29, Heart Sutra. As we said, Heart Sutra, don't forget to miss the 3 points. Don't forget not to miss the 3 points. The first one is a question asked by Shariputra. Number 2, the response given by Aravadukatishvara. Number 3, the benefit of practicing the wisdom of emptiness, as indicated by Aravadukatishvara. I prostrate to the irretrievable gem. Thus did I hear at one time the Buddha was dwelling on Masavachi's mountain Rajgriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. On the categories of phenomena called profound illumination, also at that time the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravadukateshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravadukateshvara: how should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of profound professional wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravadukateshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of profound professional wisdom should look upon it like it is, correctly and repeatedly. Also empty in nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Empty is not other than form, form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, competent factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unseen, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composite factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element, so on up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the 3 times also manifest the complete awakened, unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to unequal, the mantra that totally pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth, since it is not false. The mantra of the professional wisdom is declared: Deyata Om Gade Gade Para Gade Para Sambhade Bodhi Swaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train in the profound professional wisdom like that. Then the Buddha arose from that concentration and commanded the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravadukateshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha, having thus spoken, the Venerable Sharitavatiputra, the Bodhicittas of Advaita, those surrounding the entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed in place. They are spoken by the Buddha. Okay, as we recite this mantra, this is a great opportunity for all of us. That's the Bodhicitta retreat in Kalachakra Center, Bodhicitta retreat series 15 now. Series 15 in Kalachakra Center in the Saint Cosme. Coming to the conclusion part. So no doubt we have accumulated so much of merit, and merit in a very, very wise way through both the study, reflection, meditation, bodhicitta, study, reflection, meditation, wisdom, emptiness, taking lesson, bodhisattva vow. So this is immense accumulation merit, and why not we share these with your true parents, with all your demon sentient beings, including children and everyone here in Saint Cosme, everyone in France, in the world, in the Milky Way galaxy, and the entire universe, all the beings. So imagine that the Buddha Shakyamuni, a very compassionate teacher, who are in the guardian of praise, as one enthused by great compassion, who taught the Immaculate Dharma, to dispel all perverted views, to dispel the self-centered attitude, self-grasping ignorance, with the introduction of wisdom of emptiness, motivated by bodhicitta, grounded on renunciation. So imagine this is what the Buddha Shakyamuni is exhorting us. Don't remain in the fears of samsara. Come to his ultimate happiness by awakening the seed of perfection within yourself, the seed of Buddha nature within yourself. And imagine that you're hearing this melodious voice of Buddha Shakyamuni. You inspire your two kind parents. You inspire all the dear sentient beings, everyone. That look, this is what our compassionate teacher Buddha Shakyamuni is exhorting us. Let us not remain in the fears of samsara anymore. Let us all go to his ultimate happiness by awakening this sort of Buddha nature, by resorting to the wisdom of emptiness, driven by the force of the bodhicitta, grounded on renunciation. And all the sentient beings hearing what you are saying, they are so inspired. They so happily join you in this journey of Gade Gade Bala Gade Bala Samgade Bodhisattva, to cleanse your mind of the mental defilements, to awaken the seed of the Buddha nature in yourself. So, and you are doing this, and all sentient beings are happy to join you, and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they are watching us as we proceed through this journey. And once you have a little bit of an understanding of emptiness, then at this point, when you recite it, if possible, whenever you go around, when you travel, when you're by yourself, resting, you can just keep meditating, reflecting on this mantra, and with the inclusion of a dose of meditation emptiness. So that would be, because this gate means you can go. This go happens only when mental defilements are cleansed, and mental defilements are cleansed only with the wisdom of emptiness. So once in a while, you have to reflect on the wisdom of emptiness as you recite this mantra. So with this in mind, imagine that you are leading this and everyone is joining you. All the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they are watching us with tremendous love and compassion. Gate Gate Para Gade Para Samgade Bodhiswaha Tyata Om Gate Gate Para Gade Swaha Tyata Om Gate Gate Para Gade Para Samgade Bodhiswaha Tyata Om Gate Gate Parasamgade Bodhiswaha Om Gati Gati Paragade Parasamgade Bodhiswaha Om Gati Gati Paragade Parasamgade Bodhiswaha. By the teachings of the three supreme jewels possessed in the power of truth, may none every hindrance be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, may all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified, may the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified, may we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma, may all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma, may auspicious and perfect happiness pervade this place now. Okay, three principles of the path. Page 74. Okay, as we read the three principles of the path, we should get the three renunciation, bodhicitta, and the wisdom of emptiness. These three, the Lama Tsongkhapa identified as the three most important practices. And as Lama Tsongkhapa was explaining each one of them, they explained in three parts for each of these three, as to the need, why we should practice these three, and how to practice these three. And number three, what is the measure of having achieved these three points. With this mind, let's do this. I bow down to the Venerable Lamas. As well as I am able, I will explain the essence of all the teachings of the Conqueror, the path praised by the Conqueror's children, entrance for those who desire liberation. And listen with a clear mind, you fortunate ones who are not attached to the joys of secular existence. Strive to make good use of leisure and opportunity, and direct your minds to the path that pleases the Buddhas. Without pure renunciation, an end to the attraction for the pleasure of secular existence is unattainable. The craving of existence also binds beings. Reverse the attraction of this life. Karma and its effects and the miseries of samsara, contemplating thus, when for an instant you do not admire the splendors of secular existence and remain intent on liberation day and night, then at that time true renunciation is born in you. However, renunciation, if not tempered by the pure mind of bodhicitta, will not bring forth the perfect bliss of unsurpassable enlightenment. Therefore, the wise ones generate the excellent mind of bodhicitta, swept up in the current of the four powerful rivers, tied by the stone balls of karma so hard unto, and snared within the iron net of self-grasping, completely enveloped by the thick darkness of ignorance, born and reborn in boundless cyclic existence, ceaselessly tormented by the three miseries. Think of your mothers in this condition, generate the supreme mind of bodhicitta. Although you train in renunciation and the mind of bodhicitta, without wisdom that realizes the ultimate reality, you cannot cut the root of cyclic existence. Therefore, strive to realize dependent arising. The one who sees the infallible cause and effect of all phenomena in samsara and nirvana, and destroys all focuses of apprehension, has entered the path which pleases the Buddhas. Appearances are infallible dependent arising. Emptiness is understanding that there is free of assertions. As long as these are seen as distinct, they have not yet realized the intent of the Buddhas. When these two realizations are concurrent, where the mere sight of the infallible dependent origination concurrently destroys the old modes of grasping through definite discernment, at that time the analysis of the profound view is perfected. Furthermore, appearances refute the extreme of existence, and emptiness refutes the extreme of non-existence. When I understand that emptiness arises in the form of cause and effect, you are not captivated by the view of extremes. O my child, once you have thus realized the points of the three principal paths, seek solitude and cultivate strong determination and quickly reach the final aspired goal. Okay, 8 verse mantra. 8 verse mantra, page 32. Page 32. With the determination to achieve the highest aim, for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may I hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as I endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character, and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I have discovered a true treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrong with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard them still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer of benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all these remain undefiled by the stains of the 8 mundane concerns, and may I recognize all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From my 2 collections, vast the space that I have amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom is planted by guidance. Okay, 7 puja. I bow down to the youthful Arya Manjushri. You lines amongst humans, gone to the freedom in the present, past, and future, in the world's 10 directions. All of you with bodies, vision, and sincere mind, I bow down. With the energy or aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms in the world, to all you Buddhas, visualized as real, I bow down. On every atom the Buddhas numbered as atoms, each amidst a host of Bodhisattvas. I am confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with the Buddhas in this way, with intrinsic. I sing the breathtaking excellence of Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sugatas. Beautiful flowers in river gardens, sweet music, scented oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense are offered to you victorious ones, the Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder heaped high as Mount Meru, all wondrous offerings in spectacular array are offered to you victorious ones. By transcendent offerings, peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful actions I've done with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and confusion, all this I openly lay bare before you. I lift my heart with joys in all the merit of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers here still training and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of worlds in 10 directions, who have attained the Buddha's omniscience through the stages of awakening, all you who are my guides, please turn the supreme will of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you who may actualize parinirvana, please stay with us for eons, numberless atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated by making prostrations, offering, and confession, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddha stay and teach, I am now dedicate all this for the full awakening of all beings. Okay, mental offering. This crown adorned with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this is a Buddha fit to offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. Oh, That my mind is directed towards the Dharma. May I be blessed that my Dharma practice is on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. May I be blessed that flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. Becoming frustrated with ignorance, they grasp the true existence. Please bless me with general renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as the vicious repulsive. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me with having an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality, or the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious wisdom of non-duality, bliss and emptiness. Idam Guru Ranamanda Lavamni Radeyame. The foundation of all good qualities. The foundation of all good qualities is a kind and perfect pure Guru. Direct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to gentle mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After that, just like a shadow follows the body, results of virtues and non-virtues come or follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful to abandon even the slightest negativities and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution arise. The root of the teaching is keeping the Bodhimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all other my created beings. Please bless me to see this, train in Supreme Bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility of freeing my created beings. Even if I develop Bodhicitta, but I don't practice the three types of morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I pacify distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyze the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate truly within the mind stream the unified path of karma by expression inside. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gate of the fortunate ones, the supreme virtue vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing true attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I have become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledges them in life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, the essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who showed the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice long lives, please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. Dharma is never separate from perfect Gurus. I enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of the stages and paths, may quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Great treasure of compassion, not aimed at true existence, and Manjushri, master of the flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroyer of hosts of demons without exception. Sankapa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of the snows, Lobsang by their feet and make prostrations. Okay, Tamjen is generate the amount of consummate yoga, undertaking the ceremony of taking the auspicious voice of the vow. Okay, first we do 5 minutes breathing meditation. Okay, ready? Okay, this single point of meditation, it is good if you can make it like a practice on a daily basis. See if you can do like, say, what we are doing here is like 5 minutes in stretch. If you are really beginner, when you do that by yourself, instead of 5 minutes, you can do it like 21 cycles of the breath. Take in, breathe out, cycle 1. Breathe in, breathe out, cycle 2. Like this, you do for 21 times. 21 times is going to be a little over 1 minute. And at the beginning, 5 minutes is a lot. And the tendency is that if you're beginners, and within 5 minutes, there would be constant mental scattering or mental excitement and mental laxity. And then it can become a habit. To get rid of these two mental meditation errors is quite difficult. So in the beginning for the meditation, emphasize on the quality. Quality, don't emphasize on the quantity. Short duration like 21 times, there's going to be quality. Once it stabilizes, then after about like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 1 month, then you can extend it to like 5 minutes. Okay, so 21 cycles, and then give a short break, like 5-6 seconds, and again continue the next 21 cycles. Again another 5-6 seconds, give a break, and again 21 cycles. And then when the quality is built, when you become quite confident with this, then you can extend it to 5 minutes. And then even that for about like 1 month, 2 months. If it is the quality is there, then you can extend it to 10 minutes. So this is how we are to slowly extend it. 1. Okay, and for the single point of meditation like this, I already indicated this earlier that the sound, intermittent sound of the clock, like tick, 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 like some of the refrigerator adapter sounds, very strong sounds, they're very disturbing. So see how to get rid of these. And the clock, there are these soundless clocks available now. And for example, when you go for personal retreats in some secluded place where there's waterfall, very strong, the sound of the water, these are very harmful. And then in places where it's a little hot and say you use the fan and the cloth movement is happening in the air, again, this is not good. So this is, and then of course the other instructions like, particularly for the single point of meditation, to make sure that your eyes are open. This is so important, and the backbone upright and so forth. Okay, and breathe naturally. All this done. Next, the renunciation. We're going to do the renunciation practice on the basis of the 4 seals. And actually, the power of this meditation can happen only on the daily basis. On a daily basis, and also during your actual encounter with the outside world, there you are mindful of the 4 seals that, however nice, attractive, good, they're all compulsively impermanent. And eventually, as long as we are under the sway of the 2 demons, self-grasping, self-attitude, we are bound to go through miseries. And then the reality is supposed to maintain is how everything's like a dream, be aware of this, and then translating ourselves to peace. Okay. Ready? Reinforce visualizing Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in front of you, and all the demons and beings around you joining in this meditation on renunciation on the basis of the 4 seals. Renunciation. Renunciation is to renounce your miseries, not to renounce your happiness. To renounce your miseries, we need to know how to renounce the causes of the miseries. And the best way for us to do so is by the meditation of 4 seals. And of course, there is a practice of the long run. The teaching meant for the small scope and mid scope person combined together forms the practice of renunciation,
And that is all designed on the basis of the 4 seals. Okay. So those who are keen on the learning practice, that suffices. Whereas you can also do it on the basis of the 4 seals, because this is the root of the learning practice. All composite things are impermanent. The beautiful sunshine yesterday is gone today. And beautiful, the youth days, young days, where we don't have any responsibilities, your parents took the responsibility, so those days are gone. Likewise, in the first part of your life, there were so many people who you know, and now many of them are gone. And the Buddha indicated, every birth ceases with death, and every gathering ceases in separation. Every accumulation ceases with exhaustion. Everything that stands ceases in falling. This is reality. All composite things impermanent. 2,000 years back in time, 200 years back in time, 300 years back in time, just as the people today, 7 billion human beings today, particularly the parents, there was so much of aspiration for their children. My children should be doing this, doing that, and so much plan for the children. And individuals also have their own plan for one's own life. This was exactly what happened 200 years ago, 300 years ago. Whether the plans are accomplished or not accomplished, they're all gone. Not even a single person then is existed. It is existent today. Everyone is gone. No difference whether the plans are accomplished, not accomplished, successful, not successful. Along with the people, they're all gone. This impermanence, a power of impermanence. 200 years in the future from now, everyone, every single being out of these 7 billion human beings, whether your work is accomplished, not accomplished, along with the plans, everyone is going to disappear in 200 years from now. That's for sure, 100% guaranteed. This impermanence, and particularly thinking of the larger framework of time, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 1 million years ago, 1 billion years ago, and finally 15 billion years ago. According to the physics, Big Bang Theory, 15 billion years ago, back in time, and 15 billion years ago in the future. What we're experiencing now, as the present moment, is so minute, is so brief, fleeting. So this being so fleeting of time is like so insignificant, like a speck of dust in the vast expanse of the universe. From this we realize that we are just a very temporary guest on this earth. A guest will never think of investing all your energy, time, resources in the guest house that you're living now. Because the guest house you have to leave behind in 2 or 3 days' time. Likewise, we are guests on this earth. Those people who really think about impermanence and seeing that you are a guest on this earth will never invest all the time, energy, resources on this life. Whereas wise people, they will invest time, and while they enjoy this life, while they make the most of this life, they will use this life in order for the journey ahead, journey forward, journey towards enlightenment, which will take more time than just this life. This is the understanding of impermanence. And all this cross impermanence, the continuum of which comes to an end. These cross impermanence, we see that we see that the subtle impermanence underscores all these gross impermanence. The fact that there's a change happening over 20 years, 30 years is because of the change happening over a yearly change. The yearly change is because of the monthly change, because of the weekly change, the daily, hourly, minutely, secondly, the millisecond and nanosecond, and so forth. So we see that all changes that we see around, the gross changes that we see around, is all because of the subtle changes. Subtle changes, how the millisecond works. It works so fast. This is how everything moves so fast. Our eyes are so limited. Its shortcoming, with all the shortcomings, it cannot see this. Otherwise, the fact is that everything moves so fast. All the composite phenomena, your body, your mind, people around you, the flowers, and so forth. There's nothing really there. If you really think about it, intellectually know this. If you meditate on this, it's so powerful. We see that nothing really there which is worth for us to feel attached to and they crave to. This is impermanence, subtle impermanence. If this is reality, it's very scary. It is like that I'm being thrown into a very fast moving train. If you're thrown in a fast moving train, the faster the train moves, more fear you have, not knowing where this train is taking you. Likewise, the faster, the more we realize that our body, that our mind, the cell, the universe, everything moves so fast, transitory and momentarily moves so fast. Nothing is really remaining static for a while. To say that, okay, this is what I like. The moment you say that this is what I like, it disappeared already. This is the reality. There's nothing really there. We stand even for a moment. If this is how the reality is, the composite phenomena is. Where am I going? This train moves so fast. Where is it taking me? Where am I going? This question. So where you are going, the result is determined by the cause. Ye dharma hetu prabhava. All these phenomena arise from the causes. Where this fast-moving train, the body, the mind, and so forth is taking you, the result is determined by the cause. In another case, where if the driver, which is the cause of where the train is moving, if the driver is your mother, no doubt she will take you to a big spot. Whereas the driver is or if the driver is under the influence or kidnapped by the terrorists, no doubt it will take you to the slaughterhouse. In that case, unfortunately, the driver has a mind, and this mind is under the sway. Unfortunately, it is under the sway of the two demons, self-grasping and the self-centered attitude, the worst of the contaminations. As long as the phenomena are under the sway of the worst of the contaminations, self-grasping and self-centered attitude, it will only take us to the slaughterhouse of the miseries. This is the meaning of the second seal. All contaminated things are of suffering nature, contamination of the contaminated karmas, contamination of the afflictions, and particularly contamination of the two demons, self-grasping and self-centered attitude, will only take us to miseries. What kind of miseries? Sickness, aging, death, depression, stress, tension, fear, anguish, lamentation, and so forth. All these miseries befallen us is all because of the contaminations that we are under the sway of the two contaminations. And this one moment of such misery is good enough. Just the pain of the loss of near and dear ones is good enough to nullify all the early experiences of happiness. All the early experiences of happiness turn out to be so gloomy, so meaningless, so hollow in the eyes of one moment of the pain that you're going through over losing near and dear ones. This is reality. One moment of suffering is good enough. What more so can we speak of that we actually ensnared by innumerable sufferings, not just one. This is reality of samsara, unfortunately. Is there a way out? When will it stop? 2017 it stopped on its own, without any effort. Likewise, when will it stop? No. Impermanence is of three kinds. Impermanence, which though the phenomena is transitory, momentarily changing, but never comes to halt, comes to stop. Its continuum never comes to stop. For example, time, the mind, the person, and so forth. The second category of phenomena, whether you put effort, no put effort, automatically comes to an end. For example, 2017, 2016. Nobody can stop this. It invariably comes to an end on its own. Then there's third category of impermanence, where the continuum of this impermanence, if you put effort, it will come to an end. If you don't put effort, it will never come to an end on its own. Our suffering is the best example. So our sufferings, self-grasping ignorance, the two contaminations, if you don't put effort, it will never come to an end on their own, the way this 2017 came to an end. Whereas if we put effort, this is good news. If we put effort, they will surely come to an end. What kind of effort is required? For the self-grasping ignorance, which is the root of all the miseries, to cut this, to eradicate this, to stop this, we need to introduce a counter force. Self-grasping ignorance is like darkness. In dark, you don't see what's around you. With self-grasping ignorance, you will not see the reality around you. So just as the darkness can be eliminated by the light, it is only through the introduction of the light of the wisdom that the darkness of ignorance can be eliminated. What is this light of the wisdom? Wisdom, by definition, is a discerning mind whose apprehension of the object tells with the reality. What's the reality? Reality is what the Buddha indicated as the third seal. Everything is the nature of emptiness, selflessness. Okay, let us quickly meditate on emptiness of the self, emptiness of yourself. What are you doing? I'm meditating. What about your body? My body is in a meditative posture. How does this person appear to you? Like a dream, like a movie being projected by the movie, or no, it has nothing to do with the project. It is so objectively there. It's so intrinsically, objectively there. Of course, in the second way, it's objectively there, intrinsically there, nothing to do with my mind. This is known as self-grasping ignorance. This is one which is responsible for creating all our problems, leading to innumerable amount of tears, out of anguish, pain, for all these many lifetimes. But how can I say that this perception is invalid, this perception is wrong? How can I say that? How can I say that this is not a valid perception, valid mind? Yes. If this were true, remember what Nagarjuna said, if the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? Likewise, if this person would exist objectively, why don't I see this person as I go closer to the object? Okay, now let us go closer to this object to see whether this person exists objectively as it appeared as objectively. Going closer, we'll just ignore, we'll just keep aside all those things which are not this person. Going closer to the person, we see that there's a very thin layer of the skin. Of course, this is not being kept aside. Behind there is a fatty tissue. It's very scary to look at. Of course, this is not being kept aside. Behind that is the muscles, cartilages. Of course, that is not kept aside. Behind that is the bones, the skeleton, the skull. None of these is me. And within that is the heart, the lungs, the spleen, the gallbladder, kidney, stomach, pancreas, intestine, and so forth. None of this is, of course. So we see that none of the solid part of my body is the self, which means the element of earth, the solid part, is not the self. Keep the element of earth away. And the element of water, the blood which is pumping out by heart to different parts. Of course, that is not me. You put aside. The element fire, the body heat. The body heat alters. It increases. It decreases. There is no increase or decrease. So the element fire is also not me. Element of air, the air which I breathe in and out. No. Again, I do not breathe in and out my lungs. It's also not me. Remove that. Element of space. The space vacuum in nature. I'm a solid person. Element of space is also not me. What is left now? Only the consciousness of the mind is left. The consciousness is also not me, because I'm a female, I'm a male. The consciousness doesn't have a gender. Gender is posited on the basis of the body. Even this mind is also not me. And also, people can see me, people cannot see my mind. So therefore, even the element of consciousness is also not me. Keep that aside. Okay, what is left now? Nothing is left there. Nothing is left there. Okay, 2 questions. What are you seeing? I'm seeing just the 6 elements. Okay, now knowing that this self is not one with the 6 elements, none of the 6 elements is you, is the self. This is the understanding of the essential understanding, the emptiness of the objects being one with its parts. Now keep aside the 6 elements. Where is the self left as different from the elements? No, nothing is left there. This is understanding of the essential, of understanding emptiness of the objects being different from its parts. What is there then? 6 elements are not the person. Remove them. Different from 6 elements, there is no person. What is there now? What is there as a person? Where is this person? It's empty. Stay in this experience. Let us reinforce. Let us reinforce in these 2 questions. What are you seeing? I'm seeing 6 elements. Where is the person? The person disappears. It's empty. This is not what your mind is fabricating. This is not what your mind is exaggerating. This is a fact that you've discovered. It's an amazing fact. So far I've been believing that this object is so truly there. Now I discover it's like a dream. It's all coming from my mind. From the object is all entirely empty. Stay in this experience. Therefore the object is entire. It's totally empty. Stay in this experience for a while. Okay. So what's the benefit of understanding this? Yes. Just as this person dissolves, you can subject all your miseries, all your pains, all your fears into the same ultimate analysis. Even the pains will all disappear. So this experience of emptiness, where all the elaborations of of conventional truth, they all dissolve, including all the miseries, they dissolve. This experience of emptiness is known as the experience of nirvana. This is where all the mental disturbance stops. It transcends all sorrows, thereby experiencing the total peace, transcendental peace. This is the 4th seal, which the Buddha indicated as transcendence of sorrow. Transcending sorrow is absolute peace. Okay, stay in this experience of the nirvana, experience of the cessation of suffering, in the experience of emptiness, in this experience for a while. It is for this emptiness, it is for this peace of the mind that the Buddha taught that the Buddha is revered as the supreme of all the teachers by Arjuna. Now generating a very strong wish to be able to sustain this experience of the emptiness where all the miseries dissolve, all the sorrow is transcended. This desire, this wish, aspiration to maintain this experience, to achieve this experience, is known as the renunciation. This is a final understanding of renunciation. All other experiences, all other understanding, like, oh, you have to renounce this life, you have to renounce the attachment and so forth. These are the more advantageous understanding of the renunciation, or more superficial understanding of renunciation. This understanding, in the light of emptiness experience, there is a final, most refined understanding of renunciation. Stay in this experience of the renunciation. Okay, slowly come out of this meditation of renunciation. Okay, now Bodhicitta. Bodhicitta will do on the basis of the 4 seals to save time. Otherwise, at home, I would suggest you to do that. Say, if you have time, if you have energy, then you can do all the methods. Whereas if you don't, even if you have time, sometimes you might not have enough energy, because it strains your energy, it exhausts your energy a lot when meditating, doing this analytical meditation. So you can do one of the methods and alternate between the 2 methods on the different days. Okay, ready for the Bodhicitta? Ready? Reinforce the visualization of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in front of you, very affectionate, loving, caring. Reinforce the visualizations of your 2 parents and all demon sentient beings, including children, and where you are very loving and caring towards them, to the extent that each one of them feels themselves as so special in your eyes. And the purpose of this practice is to crush the self-centered attitude, to exterminate the self-centered attitude. So with that in mind, let's do the 4 immeasurables. Immeasurable loving kindness, which we do in 3 ways. First, how good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are endowed with happiness and a cause of happiness? May all my dear sentient beings be endowed with happiness and a cause of happiness. Cause of happiness primarily consisting of the wisdom of emptiness and the bodhicitta, which cherishes others more than oneself. May may all my dear sentient beings be endowed with happiness and a cause of happiness. I will take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are endowed with happiness and a cause of happiness. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas witnessing that you make such a courageous commitment, like the mother of all these many years of hardship raising her children, today the eldest daughter, age 13, age 14, age 12, and the eldest son, age 12, 13, tells mother, "Mother, please take rest. I'm already grown up. I'll take care of all my siblings. You have done everything for us. And we all love you so much, just as you love us so much. I'll take care of you. I'll take care of all my siblings. I'm already grown up." The mother could not believe her eyes. So proud, so happy over your incredible love and affection and taking responsibility. This is what exactly all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are feeling today. They feel so happy, proud of you, for you taking the responsibility of making all the beings be endowed with happiness and a cause of happiness. This pride and happiness all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas experience invoke their compassionate minds to send for the nectars or soothing lights towards you and all different sentient beings. The mere touch of the lights and nectars with the bodies and beings yours instills in all happiness and causes happiness within the minds of sentient beings in yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all different sentient beings. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths and relief. Next, immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. The cause of suffering primarily consisting of self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. May all my dear sentient beings be freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are freed of suffering and the cause of suffering. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas witnessing that you make such a courageous commitment, they intensely have been proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke the compassion of omniscient minds to send for nectars for its fruitfulness towards you and all dear sentient beings. The mere touch of lights and nectars with the bodies makes you yours. Washes of all the miseries and the cause of miseries from the minds of sentient beings yourself. And you witnessing such a miraculous happening to us all the dear sentient beings, you're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, silent relief. Next, immeasurable joy. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are never separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they endowed with. May all my dear sentient beings never be separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they endowed with. I will take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are never separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they endowed with. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas witnessing that they make such a courageous commitment, they intensely have been proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke the compassionate mind of the wisdom to send forth nectars of various truth and lights towards you and all dear sentient beings. The mere touch of the lights and nectars with the boxing beings yours stabilizes happiness and causes happiness that the beings are endowed with. And you're witnessing such a miraculous happening to us all the dear sentient beings, you're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, silent relief. Immeasurable equanimity. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others. May all my dear sentient beings be freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others. Instead, abide in the great state of equanimity, embracing all other dear sentient beings equally, leaving them aside. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to some and aversion towards others. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas witnessing that you are making such a gracious commitment, like the mother, after all these many years of raising the children. Today, the eldest daughter, age 12, eldest son, age 12, is making commitment to the mother. Mother, please take rest. I'll take care of all my siblings. I'm already grown up. I'll take care of you also. You've done everything for us. We love you so much as you love us. You're so kind. The mother couldn't believe her eyes, couldn't believe her ears. She's moved into tears. This is exactly what is happening to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. the intense love and affection, the pride and happiness the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas experience today, invoke their compassionate omniscient minds to send forth nectars or something less towards you and ultimate sentient beings. The mere touch of the lasting nectars with the poison beings yours. Frees the beings from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others, making them abide in the great state of equanimity, embracing all other dear sentient beings equally, leaving them aside. And you've been listening to such a miraculous happening to those all dear sentient beings, you're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, silent relief. Underscoring all the 5 measurables is unconditional love towards all different sentient beings. Abundance experience of unconditional love towards all beings. Imagining that you're piercing through the eyes of all the sentient beings with so much love and affection, to the extent that each one of them feels themselves as so special in your eyes. With folded hands, you will make 3 commitments of Bodhicitta, most courageous minded Bodhicitta 3 times. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. Slowly transform this beautiful mind of Bodhicitta, the most beautiful mind of Bodhicitta, into a sparklessly clean, white moon disk, horizontally sitting at the heart. It's amazing. It's amazing that you made such a courageous commitment, but how can you know that you can become Buddha? However much you may squeeze a handful of sand, no oil will come out of that. Of course, I'm not a handful of sand, I'm like a handful of sunflower seeds. There's a seed of Buddhahood inside me, the Buddha nature is within me. However dirty the diamond is, inside diamond is so pure. However the filthy, the soil mixed with the gold mixed with soil is, deep inside there's a gold. How can we know that you can become Buddha? Since time immemorial till now, till today, you did not become Buddha. Now how can you say that you can become Buddha? Yes, of course. Why till now it did not happen was all because I was totally deceived. I was totally under the spell of the 2 demons, self-grasping themselves and the attitude, who always came in the facade of guarding me, facade to give me strength. Today I'm disillusioned. Today I'm disillusioned by these 2 demons. Henceforth I will never give in to these 2 demons. I will exterminate these 2 demons at any cost. How can I exterminate the 2 demons? By a very powerful kind of force, a powerful measure. What powerful measure? The wisdom of emptiness. Okay, quickly retrieve the experience of emptiness, which you did as a 3rd seal of the Buddha's teaching, as part of 4 seals. Okay, what are you doing? I'm meditating. How does this person appear to you? So object real, nothing like a dream, so object. This is self-grasping experience. How do you know this? How can I get rid of this? Remember what Arjuna said, if the mirage were the water, why not those close to the mirage see water? Likewise, if this person would exist objectively, why not I see this person as I go closer to the object? Now going closer to the object, we see that this person nothing other than the 6 elements. It's just made of 6 elements. Okay, which of the 6 elements is this person? Not at all. Not even a single element. None of the 6 elements It's the person. It's me. Keep them aside. Keep them aside, where is this person? Nothing is this person. Now from the object, you have come too close to the object. Where is the self? The self disappears. The self is empty. Stay in this experience for a while. This experience is not what you are exaggerating. It's a fact that you're discovering. Stay in this experience, this wisdom of emptiness. Slowly transform this fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness into a spotless, clean, pan-satisfied Vajra, vertically sitting on the Montesquieu heart. Well, it's amazing. You have the moon symbolizing the ultimate conventional Bodhicitta, which is a fine remedy to overcome the self-centered attitude, and the Vajra symbolizes the ultimate Bodhicitta, which is a fine remedy to overcome the self-grasping. It's amazing. Now your two demons and all the meditative defilements are bound to be removed by these two lights. Yes. And thus you are bound to be freed from all the miseries, and then you are bound to experience the infinite happiness and achieving Buddhahood. But don't forget, all the demon sentient beings are still suffering. While you are going to be liberated, but all the demon sentient beings are still suffering. Your two affectionate parents and all demon sentient beings are suffering. Yes, of course, with intense love and affection, you invoke the Vajramuni in your heart to multiply infinite number of times. Share oneself the Vajramuni at the heart of your mother, oneself at the heart of the father, once a day with each one of your family members, including children, one with each one of the sentient beings, insects, animals, human beings, spirits, celestial beings, so forth, of the Kalachakra Center here in Saint Cosme. One with each one of these sentient beings here in France, in the world, in the Milky Way galaxy, in the entire universe. Now you have really protected all the demon sentient beings. Wonderful. Don't forget all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. They have been watching us since the time we started this morning session. Yes, of course. Why not let us invite all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to be the witness to undertaking the aspect Bodhisattva ceremony? For that matter, along with all demon sentient beings, slowly start to make 3 prostrations to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to make this request. Okay, on the right knees. Okay, page 47. Okay, you know that section. Okay, the first stanza we're going to say this 3 times. This is preliminary, but whereas you can use this when you have shortage of time for taking the aspirin Bodhisattva. You can take it on basis of this stanza also, but then here we are using this as a preliminary. Okay, so the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they're watching us with so much love and affection. And all the dear sentient beings, including 2 parents, your children, they're all with you, they're joining you, so happily joining you in this undertaking of the ceremony of the aspirin Bodhisattva. And imagine the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas like, say, the young child, young daughter, age 5, and the young son, age around the same age, two of them coming out for the first making the first performance in their life on behalf of the school, and your parents just leave aside all their jobs to take part, to come to be amongst the audience, waving their hands to you, reassuring you that we are here to support you, to give moral support. So this is what the child feels so happy and proud, and all the Buddhas and Buddhas out there, exactly the way your parents are doing. All the Buddhas and Buddhas out there feel so happy and proud today. They're just fully concentrating on what you're doing here with so much love and affection. So with this in mind, and you as the eldest daughter or the eldest son, you're inspiring all the other siblings, you're inspiring all the demon beings here. So with this in mind, we'll do the first stanza, of course, the first stanza, which is extremely great summation of the path. The first line which says, I go for refuge to the Triple Gem, because this journey is a very important journey, incredibly noble journey, and there's every tendency that this journey needs tremendous support, incredible support. Otherwise, this is a very difficult journey, and yet a very noble journey. So for that, the greatest support is the Triple Gem. And then, with this incredible support, this journey involves two things. The road must be clear, and the car must have enough fuel. The road is none other than the mind. Your mind must be clear of the negativities. For that, the best way by which to do so is confess the negativities. And the car is none other than your own mind. This car of the mind, your mind, requires tremendous energy to follow this journey. That is, the best way by which to do so is by rejoicing in the virtues of others. So third line says, I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. And after preparing with the road, after preparing with the car, the energy, then what do you want to do with this? What kind of journey are you taking? I'm on the journey of enlightenment, Buddhahood. So fourth line says, I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. Okay, 3 times. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the pains. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the pains. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the pains. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. Okay, the next 2 stanzas, the most important, the actual ceremony of taking lesson in Bodhisattva vow, with both Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, and the 2 stanzas, the stanza pertaining to the Buddha, second stanza pertaining to yourself. The first stanza, how the Buddhas have become Buddha. Now, how one person becoming Buddha is able to benefit innumerable sentient beings, leading them to total enlightenment, total happiness. How come they're able to do so? They're able to do that for 2 factors. First, a very intense motivation of bodhicitta. They generate such a strong intention of bodhicitta to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. Number 2 factor, to materialize the aspiration of this bodhicitta, they engage in bodhisattva deeds. So this is how they become Buddha now. How they are. One single Buddha is able to benefit innumerable sentient beings. If this is the case, I'll also follow the footsteps. I will also generate a very intense bodhicitta, wishing to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, and to materialize the aspiration of this bodhicitta, I will also engage in the bodhisattva practices, such as 6 perfections, 4 perfections, making 10 perfections. Okay, wholeheartedly make this commitment, and during the 3rd repetition, imagine that you receive the bodhisattva vow, particularly the last 2 lines. When you say, and likewise shall I too successfully follow bodhisattva practices, imagine you receive bodhisattva vow and the aspiration bodhisattva vow, and you feel a tremendous joy. And the commitment that is associated with this is nothing there. It's just to make a commitment that to the best I can, from today onwards, to the best I can, I'll help others. If not, at least I'll not harm others. Okay. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are watching us, and all sentient beings are with you, happily joining you, and you are leading this. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successively dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully follow the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, likewise shall I too follow the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be heed to me. Previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully follow the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I'll generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the Bodhisattva practices. Okay, just rejoice over having received the aspect of Bodhisattva vow. Rejoice tremendously. Okay, this is one thing that you can do to repay the kindness of all the dear sentient beings. The best thing that you can do is taking the Bodhisattva vow, and today you did a part of it. This amazing gift for all the dear sentient beings. And the one offering that you can make to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas is this: to repay the kindness of His Holiness. If His Holiness knows, instead of we offering like millions and billions of dollars to His Holiness, but His Holiness would be far, far more happy if He knows that we are taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. This would be the most excellent, supreme gift for His Holiness, for all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And today you did it. And leading a life, we are prone to age. While we are aging, the wise people will extract meaning, give meaning to the life, and extract meaning out of the life. And the ordinary people, they simply sway, go, just let life go into fade. And today, how the wise people extract the greatest meaning is by taking the aspect Bodhisattva vow. And today you did it. This is the wisest thing that you can do. This is the meaning of be kind to yourself and be wisely kind to yourself. Today you did it. Amazing. All the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they're so proud. Imagine, mother, after all these many years of receiving complaints from the school about your behavior, about you as the daughter's behavior, you as the son's behavior, receive all the complaints all these many years. Today, for the first time, the school principal, escorted by the school teachers, come towards the mother. Mother again becomes very apprehensive. Again, what kind of complaint they have for due to my son or daughter. But this one is very different. The school principal is smiling and congratulating the mother. And why congratulating? What for? Your daughter and your son, two of them, are selected as the best students of this school for this year. The mother could not believe her eyes, could not believe her ears. With so much moved into tears out of joy. This is exactly what has happened to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas today. Since time immemorial till now, we are bringing only embarrassment, we are bringing only sadness in the minds of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas because of the wrong behaviors, because of our negativities involved. Now today, what we've done, today is the first day that since time immemorial till today, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, yes, today you made them so happy. Today you made them day. They are so happy. They are so proud. This pride and happiness of the Buddha and Bodhisattvas invoke the Vajramon, the full-fledged version of Vajramon at their hearts to multiply infinite number of times. In Mirage, they descend to merge with the one that visualizes their heart, become non-dual, stabilized and blessed. Likewise, the replicas of the Vajramon from the hearts of all the Buddhas Bodhisattvas in Mirage, like rain shower, they descend to merge with the one that visualizes the heart of your mother and the heart of your father, and the heart of each of the dear sentient beings. Amazing. This is the greatest gift that are going to offer to all demonstration beings. This is the greatest offering that we make in all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And this greatest meaning out of your life. Amazing, what a day. And it's the closing, the day of the Bodhicitta retreat, series 15 in Kalachakra Center. It's amazing with such auspicious event. All the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas they're celebrating, all the sentient beings they're celebrating, all because of your gesture of taking this action. Wow. And that you're inspiring all demonstration beings to do so. And all this happening, all this wonder is happening because of the kindness of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. As a gesture of thanking them for this the event. Along with dear sentient beings, let us all stand up and make three prostrations to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Okay, please take your seats. Okay, so what we did now, this is the heart essence of the Buddha's teaching. And we're very lucky, we're very fortunate that because of the Kalachakra Center, France, we're able to, over the last many days, we're able to take this as from Bodhisattva vow. We're very fortunate, and we're able to study about emptiness, study about bodhicitta, and yet in the future lifetimes, how can we envision meeting with this teaching, meeting with the practice of the two precious bodhicittas? For that, try our best in this life to practice this as intense as possible, and then meanwhile to connect to the same practice in the form of the future lives. We include them in the form of prayers. Okay, so with that in mind, the next page we'll say this stanza 3 times wholeheartedly. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Okay. Now we turn to the earlier the page, which this stanza 150 from Bodhisattva Deva's Garden Bodhisattva life. So this, as we already know, this is to reinforce the compassion which has two elements: the subjective element of the love and affection, and the objective element of the suffering, seeing the suffering nature of sentient beings. So, more profoundly you see the suffering nature, more sophisticated, more profoundly you see the suffering nature of sentient beings, more profoundly compassion becomes. So to reinforce this compassion, we are trying to see how the sentient beings are suffering, particularly driven by the force of this self-grasping ignorance. How the self-grasping ignorance creates the illusion, creates the dream for sentient beings, and the sentient beings are trapped in this dream, not realizing that this is just a dream created by self-grasping ignorance. Instead, we see them as so real, so objective real, and because of which they continue to suffer, accumulate negative karmas, then they enter into miseries such as killing, stealing, then the stabbing each other, hunger, thirst, and so forth. All these things, while happening in the dream, your sentient beings are badly affected by the dream, not knowing that they're just the dream-like mental creation. And at the end, you pray, as prayed by Bodhisattva Deva, that through the accumulation of your own merit, when When will you be able to reveal this teaching on emptiness, to let these ultimate sentient beings discover this fact that everything is like a dream? Okay, with that in mind. Therefore, sentient beings resemble dreams. Upon analysis, they are like planted trees. Whether this is released or not from sorrow, ultimately there is no difference. What is there to gain and what is there to lose with things that are entitled to existence in this way? Who is there to pay me respect and who is there to abuse me? From what are pleasure and pain derived? What is there to be happy or unhappy about? When one searches for the ultimate nature, who is there to crave for? What is there to crave for? Upon analysis, this world of living beings is found to have no true existence. Therefore, who can die here? What is there to come and what has been? Who were friends or who are relatives? O you who are investigating reality, please recognize as I've done that all is just like space. Those who wish to be happy are greatly disturbed by causes of conflict and overjoyed by the cause of pleasure. But not finding happiness, they suffer. And in order to find it, they exert themselves. They argue with the others, cut and stamp one another. With many wrong deeds, they live in a state of great hardship. Even though they repeatedly come to happy existences and experience much pleasure here. Upon dying, they fall for a long time into the unbearable suffering lower realms. Within conditioned existence, the chasms of suffering are many, and the liberating of comprehension of ultimate reality is absent. Furthermore, the apprehension of true existence and the understanding of emptiness mutually contradict one another. But if while in conditioned existence I do not realize the suffering truth, I shall continue to experience the limitless ocean of misery, unbearable and beyond analogy. Likewise, through not having realized emptiness, I have little strength for virtue, and the human life of leisure endowment is indeed very short. Also, I strive hard to live long and avoid illness. I am concerned with hunger, rest, and sleep. I am injured by others and keep meaningless company with the childish. Therefore, this life swiftly passes with no meaning, and it is very hard to find the chance to investigate reality. In this state, whereas there remains to reverse this beginner's habit of grasping a true existence. Furthermore, devils are exerting themselves to cast us into vast unfortunate realms. There are many mistaken paths, and it is hard to resolve doubts about the perfect way. It will be hard to and extremely difficult to find the presence of the Buddhas. It is hard to forsake this flood of afflictions, while sentient beings will continue to suffer. Or indeed, it is worth feeling sorrow for those that drift in the river of pain, who, although they experience great miseries, are unaware of the suffering they go through. For example, some ascetics wash themselves again and again, and others repeatedly enter fire, and they pretend themselves as being happy. Similarly, those who mistake the suffering for joy and live as though they were no aging or death are first of all killed by the Lord of Death, and then experience the unbearable misery of falling into lower realms. When shall I be able to extinguish the pains of those tormented by the fires of suffering, by the rain of my accumulated happiness that has sprung from the clouds of my merits, and by having the manner of not objectifying true existence, intensely will I gather the accumulation of merit. When will I be able to reveal emptiness to those who are wretched and sad by the view of true existence? Okay, next rejoicing, the next page, rejoicing, stanza 25. Rejoicing so that in your next life, when you do come in contact with the Bodhicitta, the wisdom of emptiness, and then your mind will feel such a joy that you don't want to leave it. Otherwise, some people, they meet with dharma. They don't find joy in it. And then it's like just like going on a holiday. Go there, meet, leave, finish. Because they don't find joy in it. The moment you find joy in it, then after meeting, you find joy. Meeting is very important. Meeting happens because of the and so forth. Number two is by the prayers. Once a meeting happens, then the joy will sustain it. Without the joy, you cannot sustain it. You meet it, and then, say for example, you go to India, you go to some place, you meet with somebody, become friends, and then you separate, finish. Then you don't meet anymore. Whereas you meet, you find the joy, you meet dharma, you find the joy, you will never leave it. Then you keep growing, gade happens. Okay, so for that matter, to find the joy, even in future lifetimes, we have to deliberately cultivate it by seeing the benefit of this. So this is what Bodhisattva Shantideva very clearly indicated here. Let's read this. wholeheartedly. In order to further increase it, bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have listened seized an awakened mind of bodhicitta in this way should highly praise in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit. Having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of the Buddha, and now born of Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind person discovering a jewel or a heap of rubbish, likewise by some coincidence an awakened mind has been born within me. Is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereign death, is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world, is supreme medicine that cures the world's disease, is the tree that shelters all beings wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence, is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth, is the dawning morn of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions, is the great sun that finally removes the misty ignorance of the world, is the quintessential butter from the journey of the middle of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the boundless happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors and by the world of guests at a festival of temporary and ultimate delight, may gods and demigods and all be joyful. Okay, now we will switch to the soul offering. Okay, so often what we do is okay, do you have this book? Okay, so what we do is that the first okay. Okay, so often what we do is that we will skip all the earlier parts. We'll directly jump to the soul offering. It is for the reason that the practice which we did, that is so rich, that suffices the earlier part of the Guru Puja. Okay, so we jump to soul offering. It starts from where? It says the Oma, Oma. In English. The page is 11233. 11233. Okay. So what we do is let me go into my room and get my bag. I have the blessed water. Okay, what we do is, meanwhile, we will recite Om Muni Muni Maha Muni Swaha. 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 More. You can put some more water. And this also, I think, more. This one more. Mahamani Swaha. So spoons, small spoon. Muni Muni Mahamani Swaha. Om 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 Muni Muni Mahamani Swaha. Nivani. Swaha. Om Muni Muni Mahamani 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 Om Muni Muni Mahamani Swaha. Om Muni Muni Mahamani Swaha. Om Muni Muni Mahamani Swaha. Om Muni Muni Mahamani Om Muni Muni Mahamani Swaha. 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 Muni Mahamani Swaha. Om Muni 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 Muni Mahamani Swaha. Continue reciting the mantra. Okay, I will read from the. Okay, so a little bit of explanation here. So here, the center, many are from the center, many are already associated with some centers, for example, Kalachakra Center, Nanda Center, and the Vajrayana Center. So I expect you all to know what is happening here. And those of us who are more new to these things, as we read this, we see that the soul offering, which we explained earlier, is primarily for accumulation of merit. And if you are able to reflect on the emptiness part of all this dissolve and emptiness, from the emptiness, then they arise in the form of the divine delicacies to invoke the wisdom of emptiness and Bodhicitta even more, to activate the Buddha nature to become fully enlightened. So this is for that purpose. And then meanwhile, as we read what is there, what is in the manual, we see that there's a mention of what the ordinary people consider as very obscene things. For example, like the skull, the blood, then the meat, and so forth. So the point is then, and people take it very literally. Because taken literally, some people with the faith, they take literally, they do it. And some people, just by seeing this and taking that as literal, then they lose faith in Dharma. Right? Dharma is meant for compassion, but what is seen there is all very obscene things like skull and so forth. Where is the compassion? So these are all the misconceptions. And many people who have no clue about the real Dharma, what we have been doing since the morning till now, the real Dharma, no Bodhicitta, no wisdom emptiness. This is pathetic. It's pathetic. The point is that, say, the Tantra, which is so precious, in the olden times, this Tantra is known as the secret Mantrayana, secret Vajrayana, secret Tantrayana. Secret. It should be maintained confidential, which means that only people who are highly, highly qualified will embrace this. Otherwise, from the ordinary people, this is truly taken away from, not even letting them know what is going there, because ordinary people cannot really understand it. They don't have that capacity. They have not matured to the extent to see the nuances, to see the depth of this. And then they just see the superficial part, and then they either lose faith or they go into the wrong direction. So This used to be the practice, how it was practiced. But what happens is the nature of law. It's the natural law that, for example, like Tantra. So it does the superficial ritual there, and inside there's incredible significance, incredible the meaning, the implications, all these things are there. And then from one teacher to the student, when passed down, slowly the inside meaning lost. And superficial, the ritual part, easily is transmitted. Ritual part is transmitted. Ritual part is very easy. That does not require intelligence. That does not require much commitment. It's easy to be transmitted. And the meaning requires tremendous intelligence, tremendous commitment, tremendous compassion. These things are missing. These things slowly disappear. A ritual part is left. And then what is this transmitted from our generation of the lineage masters? What is transmitted? Just the superficial rituals, and inside is lost. And because only ritual left, the ritual considered is so important. Because you consider it so important, without the meaning, then the other people, outsiders, beginners, they come and say, what is this? It's Buddhism. What is this? What is the compassion? What is this? It's about talking about the blood. It's talking about the skull. Human skull is there. These are all the misconceptions. This is the pathetic thing. When the Bodhicittas and Gueshe, when these two are missing, then just the rituals is left. Just the empty container is left. So therefore, many people, they do that. And this is all totally wrong. So therefore, even for the use of say in some cases, many people, they use the actual meat and the alcohol. This is something to be touched, but very highly realized. We are not realized. We don't have these things. And then do the things which highly realized do, and actually what you do, we are not at all to that level. So therefore, my teacher, they had a practice, instead of the meat, he uses like the raisins and so forth, and instead of the alcohol, raisins, and then instead of the alcohol, he uses the black tea. This is a very good practice. Then when you become highly realized, the great saints, they don't remain like this. For example, like the great saint Dilupa, Naropa, after becoming such a highly accomplished master in Nalanda Monastery University, when he reached to that level of the practice, then he left the monastery. Nobody could get access to him. He just disappeared into his own practice. So when he reached to that level, then you're different. But we are so weak, and then we are taking a very strong the antibiotics, right? It can kill us. So therefore, the point is that we have to know the meanings. And then, even in your practice, some people, no, meat is very important, alcohol is a very important part of this. Only for the highly realize. For us, in any ways, the intended purpose, not even 0.001% will be accomplished by this, because we are not realized. So these things don't really matter as much. What really matters is look at what His Holiness the Dalai Lama always advises. Focus on Bodhicitta, focus on Wisdom and Materials, focus on Bodhicitta, focus on Wisdom and Materials. This is what is known for the advising. He is the king of the Tantras. He is the supreme. He is the final authority. Yet he is advising us to focus on Bodhicitta and Bodhicitta. He says that guaranteed that with the Bodhicitta, Wisdom and Materials, when you die, no doubt you will take a further birth and you will meet with Dharma. Guaranteed. This is what it says. With the practice of Tantra, we're not sure. With the practice of Tantra, Bodhicitta, Wisdom and Materials, if you have these two, good, it's amazing. But if you don't have these two things, then not sure. So therefore, the point is that these are the traditions that we should be very careful, and particularly for the survival of the Buddha Dharma. For the survival of the Buddha Dharma, it is so important. Survival of Buddha Dharma, for example, say it is today why Buddhism is picking up such a height is because of His Holiness, primarily because of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and number two, because of the deep philosophy Buddhism has. And how the Buddhist philosophy, deep philosophy and compassion is coming out was because of his holiness, being a great celebrity and being greatly renowned, respected in the world. So therefore, and Buddhism has this rich philosophy. So that when his son says, it comes out, he's a very special person. Why he's special? What he's following? He's following this philosophy. What philosophy? People go into that, then is amazing philosophy. Compassion is amazing compassion. So this is how Buddhism is spreading. And yet, if you do like these things, sensible people will run away. Even seeing his holiness and then admiring Buddhism, when you see these things, meat, alcohol like this, they'll run away, they will leave. Right? So therefore, and then above all, say the friendship, harmony among the different traditions, Theravada tradition, Chinese tradition, Tibetan tradition. This is so important. We are so less in number and we can easily disappear if there's no harmony amongst the three traditions. What can unite the three traditions? The Buddha Shakyamuni. What can unite the three traditions is the Buddha Shakyamuni. So we emphasize on, for example, putting the picture of the Buddha Shakyamuni, statue of Buddha Shakyamuni as the main, right? And then whatever you do something which is very common to all the three traditions. So when you do like these things, these are something which is totally non-existent in the Theravada tradition and the Chinese Mani tradition. So therefore the point is that we can practice, we can do these things, but it's more like a person practice. And if you're really highly realized, you can use meat, alcohol, so forth. Not in public, the way the great Saint Naruba did. The moment he reached to that level, he disappeared. He did not remain in the social community, right? So the point is that what I'm saying here is that we deliberately use the black tea instead of alcohol and the reason in place of meat and so forth for that reason, for the reason. One. Number two, in this what we are reading here, you will see the mention of the skull and so forth, blood and so forth. They are not to be thought of like this. These are to remind us of the impermanence of death. It's not that with the skull there, then your spiritual realization will be higher. No, it's to remind us that we are also one day. My skull is also going to be become one like this. My body will also become one like this. The arm, bones, femur, and all these things, they will become like this. Just remind us impermanence. With the reminder of the impermanence, then the practice of Tantra, these things, the sense of urgency will come to us. With the sense of urgency, then the Tantra makes sense. Tantra is to expedite the path. Why expedite? Because it's so urgent. So urgency is generated because of the factors to remind us, like this kind and so forth. They are not for the sake of anything else. Okay, these are the things that we need to keep. And then say the obscene substance such as the all these dirty things I mentioned there. So these things are for us to see the emptiness. How in the dream you see all these obscene things, this very dirty, this very unclean, like this. You wake up, oh, they're just my dream, right? You're not affected. So the obscene things mentioned there, the 5 meat, the 5 flute, and so forth mentioned there. So they are all deliberately for us to cut the ordinary appearance and ordinary pride, ordinary the feeling of them as so dirty like this, seeing them so objectively dirty and so forth, rather to see them all like a dream. So for that matter, again, emptiness experience is crucially required. Without emptiness experience, Tantra practice doesn't make any sense, particularly for Buddhist Tantra. Okay, with that in mind, let's recite from Tsokpo directly. Om Aho, Om Aho, Om Aho. Pure clouds of outer inner secret offerings, objects that bind us closer and fields of mission, pervade this riches of space and earth and sky, spreading out beyond the range of thought. In essence, they are the pristine awareness, in aspect the inner offering and the various objects offering. Their function is to generate the pristine awareness of emptiness and blissness, objects to be enjoyed by the 6 senses. In the grand play of pristine awareness, all places are Vajra fields, and all structures, majestic version of palaces. Oceans of clouds summoned about their offerings below for. But the glories of all wishes, all beings are actual Vedas and Vedanese. There is not even the word impurity of flaw, all is but infinitely pure. Whom from a state of dharmakaya in which all mental fabrications are distilled, on top of a turbulent wind and blazing fire, upon the crown of the tripod of 3 human heads, all within the proper human skull. All the ingredients brilliantly appear one by one. Placed above them are Om Home. Each sparkling with brilliant color, the wind becomes turbulent, fires blaze, ingredients melt. From their body tumble forth copious vapors. From the 3 letters, profusion in 10 directions, drawing back the 3 vases with nectars. They dissolve individually into the 3 letters. These melt with nectar and the blend with the ingredients, purifying, transforming, and increasing them. Maho, becoming an ocean of glittering with the splendors of all that could be wished for. Om Maho. O host of root of lineage, gurus, yidams, and hosts of deities, 3 jewels of refuge, rivers, daganis, dhammapalas, and guardians of the teachings, I request you who are in the nature of compassion to appear and close to this offering side. Please, on this elegant throne formed of jewels, amidst an ocean of clouds of outer inner secret offerings, grant us who are striving in the supreme realization of powerful attainments that we all wish for. Oh, this ocean lights of offering of uncontaminated nectar. Blessed by Samadhi, Mantra, and Mudra, we offer in order to please you, hosts of root and lineage gurus, Om Ahom. Contented by your support with all the splendors that could be wished for, Om Ahom, please let fall a great rain of blessings. Blessed by concentration, mantra, and mudra, this ocean of offering spotless nectar offered to your delight, assemblies of root and lineage gurus. Satisfied by enjoying the abundance of all you wish, please I beg let fall a great rain of blessings. Blessed by concentration, mantra, and mudra, the ocean of offering of spotless nectar offered to your delight, assemblies of yidam, deities, and attendants. Satisfied by enjoying the abundance of all you wish, I beg let fall a great rain of powerful accomplishments. Blessed by concentration, mantra, and mudra, this ocean of offering of the spotless nectar, offered to your delight assemblies of the most precious jewels. Satisfied by enjoying abundance of all you wish, please I beg let fall a great rain of the holy Dharma. Blessed by concentration, mantra, and mudra, this ocean of offering of the spotless nectar, offer for your delight assemblies of Dakanis and Dharmas, protectors satisfied by enjoying the abundance of all you wish, please I let fall a great rain of virtuous deeds. Blessed by concentration, mantra, and mudra, the ocean of offering of spotless nectar, offer for your delight assemblies of mother sentient beings, satisfied by enjoying abundance of all you wish, please let delusive appearances a certain be allayed. Okay, so this offering, they are primarily made to your gurus, then the deities, then the 3 jewels, then the dharmapalas, then to the sentient beings. To the gurus to receive blessings, to the deities to receive the powerful cities, then to the 3 jewels to receive the dharma, then to the dharmapalas for seeking protection when you do the dharma practice, for the sentient beings, so that the delusive appearances, seeing things objectively real, that misperception of things objectively real, that be eliminated. Okay. Yes. Okay, who's going to offer? 3 people? Okay, yes, 3. 3, 3, 3. 3, 3, 3. Who are they? No, 3. Yes. Okay, who is the second? Yes, okay. Money. second Mary, third Virginia. Yes. Okay, we recite. Look, Venerable, a great circular soul, you who have followed in the track of the Sugata 3 times, and are the source of all powerful attainment, since we realize this, O great hero, who has forsaken the conceptualizing mind, please enjoy continually its circular soul. La 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 la. Oh, very good. With nature inseparable, altogether, with nature inseparable from the 3 vajras, I visualize myself as a Guru Gita. This nectar, immaculate wisdom knowledge, without stirring from Bodhicitta, I drink to satisfy the deities dwelling in the body, but great bliss. Okay. Thank you. So what we do is that Mary will give the nectar. So what you do is that you put it on your right palm, and drink it. As you drink it, imagine that you feel the bliss, and this blissful experience. With the blissful experience, you think about the emptiness of the self. So this is known as the non-duality of the bliss and emptiness. Because with nectar, we experience bliss, and with this, using this bliss, see the emptiness, how the self is just of 6 elements, and besides 6 elements, the self is empty. Whereas the self, it is empty from the object. It's like a dream coming from the subject. From the object, it's just empty. Stay in this experience. This, you feel that this is the non-duality, bliss and emptiness. This is who I am. Okay, and then the second one. So this is primarily to bless your, say, the bodily physiological constituencies for your practice, for the practice of the Dharma. And then the word Virginia is distributing is the reasons in order to invoke the spiritual cities, spiritual powers. Okay, so now some can distribute the soul. Yes. Nico can take the lead. Other younger ones, come, help distribute the soul. The soul, it is now, because we already offered this to all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. We offered this all to Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they already blessed. Now we take them as a blessing from the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. So the tradition has it that we take it, we just the first portion of this from the soul, and then somebody will come to collect the. Okay, somebody will come to collect the remains left over. So what you do is that once you take a piece of it, a part of it, then from the remaining you give something as a share for the local spirits, which Eric will come to pick up later on. Eric will come to pick up a little later. Eric will come a little later. First let me distribute.
make sure that everyone got the share. What about Catherine? So we keep some for Catherine and others, for cook, Catherine and others also. Okay, so you just eat something, and then from the remaining part, you can give something to the local spirits, for local spirits. Some people, they think that you take the first bite and then what you've bitten, then the remaining body. This is not necessary. Give also clean one with spirits. Now, the resin and the nectar. And the nectar both. Yes. Okay, time you can put one candle here, till that candle, light it with the incense. Okay, we will, as they are preparing this, we will do the remaining part, the song of the Spring Queen. Yeah, right. Let me keep it here and wait till we indicate. Okay, let's read this together. All the Tathagata Buddhas, Veda heroes, yogins, dakas, and dakinis, to all of you I make the request, O Henuka, O delight. in supreme bliss, and who attends the mudra experiencing bliss, please, by enjoying yourself in accordance with the rites, join the innate bliss and emptiness. May the whole sustain this darkness, look this, and accomplish all deeds, whom we as well as various yogins, dakas and dakinis. Yogins dance with enchanting soothing movements, the protector soul associating to please, and to the multitudes of dakinis come from before us and bless us, bestow upon us in it great bliss. You, the multitudes of immaculate dakinis, look upon us with love, bestow all the powerful attainments, whom we make a request to you, the Tathagatas who are thus gone, as well as to the Vedas, yogins, dakas and dakinis, the great bliss that is possessed of liberating qualities, the great bliss without which freedom cannot be gained in one life. Though one endures many asceticism, the great bliss abides with the center of the Supreme Lotus. You, the multitudes of immaculate darkness, look upon us with love, bestow all the powerful attainments, whom we make our request to you, the Tathagatas who are thus gone, as well as to the Vedas, yogins, dakas and dakinis. Tis a lotus born out of the Himata, great bliss, though born out of desires, unsullied by sport, O supreme yoginis, by the bliss of your lotus, may the bonds of samsara be quickly undone. You, the multitudes of immaculate darkness, look upon us with love, bestow all the powerful attainments, whom we make our request to you, that the Tathagatas who are thus gone, as well as to the Vedas, yogins, dakas, dakinis, like a swarm of bees drawing forth this nectar of flowers, may we likewise be satiated by the captivating nectar of the natural lotus possessing 6 qualities. You, the multitudes of immaculate darkness, look upon us with love, bestow all the powerful attainments, whom impure deceptive appearances become purified in the spirit of voidness. This magnificent nectar, created out of pristine awareness, whom becomes the vast ocean of all desired things. Om, 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 Om. Okay. Hold this ocean of remaining stock of uncontaminated nectar, blessed by Samadhi, Mantra, and Mudra, we offer to please you, who is of oath-bound realm protectors, Om, Om, contented by your spot with all the splendors that could be wished for, Om, please accomplish the virtuous conduct with you. Oh, by offering this ocean salt, or remaining salt to the guests who are left together with the entourage, may the precious teaching proliferate. May the upholders of the teachings, the offering patrons, together with the entourage, and especially the yogis, all gain freedom from sickness, all have fame, good fortune, and abundant wealth and rich as for. Okay, so here, what is being said is the local spirits. So the remaining salt offering is meant to look for the local spirits. And what we request them is that they do not have the power to generate bodhicitta in us. They do not have the power to give the cities or whatever. So in their own capacity, whatever they can do for us, like showering the rain, so that there's good harvest, and the illness is not happening. So little things that they can do. This is what we may request. So like the ordinary mundane things like fame, long life, no sickness, good rain, good harvest. So these are what they can do. So this is the request to me. Not because that finally after learning about bodhicitta, Buddhahood, and then we are asking for the mundane things like what the fame and so no, it's not the idea. So because this is what they can do. Okay. 76. Bestow on us the powerful attainments of action, such as pacification, increase, and so forth. O all-bound protect us, help us to obtain all powerful attainments.
Make us meet with untimely death, sickness, demons, or interfering spirits. See that we have no bad dreams, ill omens, or calamities. We may have worldly happiness, good crops and harvest. May the Dhamma flourish, all goodness and all joy will come about, and may all the wishes in our mind be fulfilled. And by the force of this bountiful giving, may I become self-willed Buddha for the sake of all sentient beings. And by this gesture of generosity, may I liberate the multitudes of beings who were not liberated but will pass. O holy and venerable Guru, supreme thrill of merit, inspire me to make offerings and devotee requests to you, O protectors, the root of all. May I inspire me to realize how this opportune fortune we birth is rare found but once and quickly lost, and thereby undistracted by the meaningless works of this life, seize its meaninglessness. Okay, so this is the review of the stage, what we should be meditating, which is more like the foundation of all good qualities, which we read this morning, which we practiced this morning, and then followed by this one part, which is very important. The practice of 6 perfections. What are these 6 perfections? What should be the practices like? They are very detailed coming to being. So this is what we need to really work on. Okay, 81. Inspire me to realize how this opportune and fortunate rebirth is rare, found but once and quickly lost, and thereby undistracted by the meaning of works of this life, see this meaningful essence. Afraid as I know of the searing place of suffering in low realms, inspire me to take heart and refuge in 3 precious gems, and to fervently strive at avoiding non-virtue and accomplishing all perfection of virtue. Fighting the truths iron by waves of delusion karma, plagued by hosts of sea monsters with 3 sufferings, inspire me to develop an intense longing for to be free of this dreadful boundless great ocean of existence. I have abandoned the view that inspire me to train in 3 trainings the store of the Arya's essence, and thereby uphold the banner of liberation. I have considered how all these tormented beings are my mothers who have kindly cared for again and again, inspire me to develop unfeigned compassion like that of a loving mother for her precious child. As no one desires even the slightest suffering, nor ever has enough happiness, there is no difference between myself and others. This chronic disease of cherishing myself is the cause of unwanted suffering. Perceiving this, may I be inspired to blame, begrudge, and destroy this monstrous demon of self-cherishing. Cherishing my mothers and seeking to secure them is a gateway to infinite virtues. Seeking this, may I be inspired to hold them dearer than my life, even should they rise as my enemies. In brief, infantile beings labor for their own gain alone, while the Buddhas work solely for others, understanding the distinction between their respective faults and virtues, may be inspired to be able to exchange myself for others. Cherishing myself is the door to all downfalls, while cherishing my other mothers is the foundation of all everything good. Inspire me to make the core of my practice the yoga of exchanging myself for others. Therefore, O venerable compassionate Gurus, bless me so that my karmic obscuration and suffering of mother migrators may ripen upon me right now, and that I may give others my happiness and virtuous deeds, in order that all sentient beings have happiness. Though the world and the beings therein are full of the fruits of evil, and undesired suffering shower upon me like rain, inspire me to see them as demons exhausted results of negative karma, and to take these miserable conditions apart. In short, no matter what appearances may arise, be they good or bad, inspire me to take them into a path enhancing the 2 Bodhicittas through the practice of the 5 forces, the essence of the entire Dharma, and thus enjoy only a mind of happiness. Inspire me to immediately conjoin with meditation whatever I encounter by the skillful means of having the 4 applications, and to make this opportunity rebirth worthwhile by practicing the advance of commitments of my training, so that I may rescue all beings from the vast ocean of samsara. Inspire me to master true bodhicitta through love, compassion, and superior intention, conjoined with the technique of mounting, taking, and giving upon the breath. Inspire me to urgently strive in the practice of the 3 moralities of the Mahayana, and to the single path journeyed by victorious ones of the 3 times. Inspire me to transform my body while the virtues of the 3 times into the object desired by each sentient being, and to the advice by enhancing detached giving complete the perfection of generosity. Inspire
Inspire me to complete the perfection of moral conduct by working for sentient beings, accumulating virtuous qualities, and not transgressing the bounds of Pratimoksha, Bodhisattva, counted vows, even in the course of my life. Should all 9 types of beings, all the 2 realms, become angry with me, abuse, upbraid, threaten, or even kill me, inspire me to complete the perfection of patience, and undisturbed work for the benefit in response to their harm. Even if I must remain in the fires of Avicii for an ocean of aeons for the sake of each sentient being, inspire me to complete the perfection of joyous effort, and through compassion to strive for supreme enlightenment. By avoiding the falls of dullness, agitation, distraction, with one-pointed concentration set on the mode of existence of all phenomena and to the true existence, inspire me to complete the perfection of concentration. Through the wisdom of discriminating suchness, conjoined with induced tranquility and great bliss, inspire me to complete the perfection of wisdom, through the space of yoga like exalt on ultimate truth. Inspire me to perfect the illusion like concentration by realizing how all the inner hindrances like true existence, they still appear like illusion, dream, or the moon's reflection in and they still lay. Samsara and Nirvana have not an atom of the true existence, but dependent arising by cause and effect is non-deceptive. Inspire me to realize the important Nagarjuna's thought that these 2 are not counter to truth but complementary. And through the kindness of my huntsman Vajradhara, inspire me to cross the brain the ocean of Tantra, beholding my vows and pleasures, the root of cities, dearer than alive. Inspire me to cleanse all sins of attachment to ordinary appearance through the first stage yoga of transforming birth, death, and pardo into the conqueror of 3 bodies, and to see all that appears as the deity. Setting me free, O Protector, upon the 8 petals of my heart, within central channel, inspire me to actualize the path, uniting plain light and illusory body in its very lifetime. Should I not have completed the points of the path at the time of death, inspire me that I may reach the pure land by either the instruction on applying the 5 forces or by the forceful means of enlightenment, the Guru's instructions. In short, O Protector, inspire me that I may care for by you inseparably in all my future lives and become your chief disciple, holding every secret of body, speech, and mind. O Protector, please grant me the good fortune to be the very foremost of your retinue wherever you manifest Buddhahood, and that all my temporal and ultimate wishes and needs be effortlessly and spontaneously fulfilled. Having thus pray grant this request of Supreme Guru, so that you might bless me happily alight on the crown of my head, and once again set your radiant feet firmly on the coral of my heart. I dedicate the merit thus gathered may I in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the great vehicle and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfectly in the 2 stages. Through the excellence of whatever white virtues there are in samsara and nirvana, may all the auspicious for us to be free here and now from all misfortune and hardship, and thus enjoy the glorious and perfect celestial treasure of temporal and ultimate virtue and goodness. May all be auspicious for the Buddha's teachings to endure long, through your extended Dharma, omniscient open Dharma, being filled with hosts of monastic devotees, striving single-handedly to master the 3 pure trainings. Having requested your blessings, Losantapa, who from the time of your youth made request to the Supreme Guru Yidam, may all be auspicious for you, O Lord Son of Vajradhara, spontaneously grant the wishes of the others. May all be auspicious for all our desired endowments to swell like a lake in the summer realm, bringing an unbroken flow of results of leisure in the foremost families, where they renew paths of days and nights with your holy Dharma, O Lord Son, and thus delight in the grace of perfection. By the collection of whatever virtues these others have done, and shall prove from now on until enlightenment, may all the auspicious, O Holy Venerable One, for your body of form, remain in this land immutable like a Raja. Okay, good. Yatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhiswatyatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhiswatyatha Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhi Swaha. Okay, 3 prostrations.